Hello! Today will be the official start of my Fixed February, so I came here to show you which projects I will be fixing this month, and I will be filming my progress along the month, but let's see what we'll have before us now. The first project that I want to fix are my crochet bandanas. I actually gave them to my sister, both of them. I have this one and another one which I think is with her, so that's why I don't have it here, the yellow one, but it's pretty much the same except for the shell edge. The other is just a plain edge. I made both from different patterns and they gave the same result, which is to be super hyper mega stiff. You can see if I try to put them in my head, they make this, you see? They don't rest in your head like a cloth will, and I will unpick them, but I think I will try another tutorial which makes a more lacy one, a more meshy bandana, so that it will be drapier. I don't trust my tension to make it drapey with this pattern anymore. Another crochet project that I want to finish is my granny square dress. I seamed this dress with an invisible seam. You can see from the right side it is invisible. However, when I was dressing it ripped here and somewhere else. I am going to reinforce the seams here so that I don't lose my precious dress. It took me so long. The next one is also a project for myself. It's my striped sweater by Andrea Maury. I love this sweater so much. It was my birthday sweater in 2022. I almost broke my back trying to knit it fast, and the problem with it are the cuffs. These arms are quite skinny. It's a common complaint about this pattern, which doesn't bother me per se. I don't mind skinny arms in clothing, but I do mind the cuffs that cut my circulation. Every time I wear this, I get red marks in my arms, and that's not healthy, so I avoid wearing it. I will cut the edge, pick the stitches back, and make a sewn bind off to make it more stretchy here. Another project I want to fix this month that I don't have here too, because it was also a gift, is a crochet crop top I made for my sister, the same sister of the bandanas. It ended up being too large for her. After some washes, it grew so much, so I want to pick it back and cut it. I will reinforce it by sewing it and cutting and make the top more adjusted to her body. Almost the last one is this project, which I have shown you in my last podcast episode. It is gray now. I want to make it black, so I will try to dye it again, and I don't know if I will cut it and make the ribbon as I planned. Well, talking about that cardigan made me remember two other projects that I have, which I want to make black or add black, and the first one is my linen skirt. I think it's a number 52 according to Brazilian numbering, and it has been adjusted already here, but it never fitted me. I bought it to visit a church because I was in a trip to Russia in 2026 with my friend, and we couldn't enter the church without our heads covered and wearing pants. We should wear skirts or dresses and have some coverage. So for the coverage, I think we had hats, but we had to buy this on emergency, and they only had this number. I have ripped here. I thought about unraveling this to knit a top or something else with the linen yarn, but I think it's serged, it wouldn't work. I think it's serged here. Probably there isn't a continuity to the yarn, so I decided I will just make the skirt more adapted to my size, and I have already seamed here some overstitch, I think it is, but I have to seam it properly to adjust it by hand because I don't know how to operate a sewing machine yet. So this is another possible project that will maybe become black, or maybe I will keep it like that to wear with black tops. It's possible too. Last one is this one. The mother of my boyfriend gave me this top, but the straps of my bra keep showing because of the halter top here and how deep are the armholes. So I want to make crochet sleeves for it in black to have some flair here. I will want to make some sort of half a doily or those crochet lace patterns from the early 19th century. I will pick one of these and pick my cotton thread and create cat sleeves just to hide the bra straps because I like the top very much. I am thinking on making something like this. Let me show you this kind of sleeves. That's what I have in mind. However, not completely, because here the lace is on top of fabric. There I would have only the lace, so I will choose probably a pattern that is more closed, at least in the beginning here, so that I can cover what I need to cover and have only the lace as my sleeves, like this one, how it sits here. And that's it for now. Pause the video, tell me in the comments now, which ones do you think I'm going to finish this month? How many of them and which ones? And now you can play the video and see if you got it right. I figured we could start already by unraveling this one. Why don't you follow? It took me 12 minutes and a half. So I think I'm going to get the other one and already unravel the other one. Here is my yellow one. It's the same yarn, another finish. It's from Hey Hey Crochet, and I will unravel it now. This is giving me a bit more trouble than I anticipated. I will finish it off camera and I'll come back later to you with the one finished or already remade. Well, here is the dress ready for the operation. I have the yarn here, the original yarn, and my needle and 3 stitch markers to showcase the places where it needs to be fixed. I studied the dress beforehand and I know that it needs to be fixed right here and also somewhere under here. So I will mark these 3 places and I will sit down and calmly seam them with the original yarn, reinforce the seams around here. I finished the seaming. It's a little apparent here in the wrong side, but I will test it and show you if everything is okay. If everything is okay in the right side and I can wear it calmly, I will consider this my first finished object of my Fix It February. Yep, everything alright. Here you can see everything is fixed here. I think the other one was around here. There are the little white showing, but everything is not ripped, everything is okay. And the third one, I suppose it was in the hips, but everything is okay here. Everything is in its place. So this is a finished object number 1. So right now I'm going to proceed to the bandanas. Here is my yarn and I'm going to use this tutorial by Morto Crochet, which teaches how to make a mesh bandana, and in her thumbnail it appears to be very drapey and nice. If it doesn't work, I'm going then for another tutorial that I will also leave linked below and I may show you later, like in a picture or something. I have finished the chains and the first row of double crochets, which go like that. And I'm almost without light here because it's already 7 hours. So I will finish this off camera and I will show you the result tomorrow. Now we're going to do another thing. Hello, now we're going to over dye this cardigan. to make it darker. We have everything we need here: the cardigan, the black dye, the product to fix the color, and here we have the water warm already, the spoon. I already used this one to dye the other time, so that's why it's black. And the pen that should be able to contain your entire clothing and let it be covered. And of course, it will be dyed there. I will show you just a sneak peek, and then it will be there for 30 minutes, so I will speed the process. So the cardigan is washed. It looks super dark, but it also did when I took it out of the bed the other time, so I'll have to see it dry to believe. I think it's still dark gray and not a proper black, a true black. But let's see. They ask us to lay flat to dry in the shadow, so I will use my yoga mat for that, and I will show you the result in a few hours. I finished it. The bandana is finished. Let's see here. It's pretty fine, it sits very well in the head, and I still have this much yarn left. I could use it to make a different one for her, or even another one of these for me. It takes very little yarn, and it's so cute. I think I'm going to block it and leave it to dry, just to improve the drape and just to open more the lace, but I really like it, the result. I super recommend the tutorial. It has like less than 4 minutes and you make it in a few hours. However, I think I'm going to test the other tutorial for the blue one, because then she will have 2 different bandanas. The other one is by Ali Russell and it's a granny bandana, but she made it to eliminate the bulk at the sides, so she makes a different shape. It starts as a triangle and then it goes like that. I'll try to do that one with the blue, and let's see in a moment how well will it go. This weekend it was way too hot, so I decided I was not going to film my face, but only record my motions so you could see what I am doing here. In this case, I am cutting the cuff of my striped sweater. I unraveled a few rows in one of the cuffs because I dropped the stitches and I had to unravel a little bit. Then I picked up the stitches again. I used a tapestry needle to help me with it, and then I transferred the stitches to my needle and reknitted the rows I had lost. And then I went and I searched a tutorial for a 2x2 sewn bind off. It's a little bit tricky, but I learned it after a few attempts and finished the first cuff this day and the second cuff in the next. Now for this one, what I'm going to do, I have asked my sister to see her measurements and marked it here. I'm going to sew the front part and the back part to a white ribbon with this colored thread, and probably cut the middle part here, the middle excess. And I will sew buttons to the wrong side and use these eyelets as button cases so that she can dress it and undress it without stretching it, and maybe it won't grow any longer. I still have something to do about these holes about here, but I think I'm going to just pick the yarn and try to crochet something here to fill it in. I'm almost at the end of my finished February now, and I'm working on my last project, which is this top. I think you can see very easily here what's the problem with it. It's not bra friendly. I want to make some sleeves to cover the bras. I'm very into the idea of mixing fabric with knitwear, crochet or knitting, and I decided I'm going to approach this by picking a project which I already picked, a Victorian color, as they were like this. I think I could accommodate them around my armhole and then create a little bit of fabric, just enough to cover this and this. I'll make two, of course, and you can see here my project, which I started yesterday. It doesn't look like much now. I have chained enough stitches according to the multiples of the recipe to go around here, and I'm working on it. This is the Brussels lace collar by Cornelia Mee from 1846. I don't remember the name of the book, but it's in public domain. It's available online, and I will leave the links below. And I also will leave the links for the blog that translated it to modern terms, which I'm following. I think I will be done with it soon, and I will record the outro and explain a conclusion of the entire month for you. So, are you ready for our finished object count? Let's go. Granny square dress. First, ready. Everything seamed. 1 out of, I will put it in the screen. Crochet bandanas. 2 and 3 out of, who knows. Well, this one, you haven't seen it, tested. I will leave you with a picture of my sister wearing it. It's like that. I decided to make a granny square bandana after all. It still has some pointy things, but when my hair is loose, it doesn't show as much. Also, the original pattern didn't have the edge, but I added the shell edge to disguise the change in pattern here. You can see there is a triangle, and then it goes up straight and becomes a triangle again. So I have made it to make it softer, but it increased a little bit of the side too. My fourth finished project, this one. Here it's more close to how it looks in reality. And what's the issue with this? It's the second time I tried and it did not become black. I believe now that it's because it's probably not just cotton. I don't have the fiber composition here. It was thrifted, so I don't know. But it's probably cotton with a synthetic blend. So one of the videos that I watched warned that the dye I was wearing wouldn't give such a vivid color if the fabric contained synthetics as well. I believe that's the reason for the problem here. And well, I'm not going to try to burn it another time to make it black after all. But I saw a video by Jackie Atkin. If you don't know her, you should. She makes some pattern roundups for gothic people, and there are some very nice patterns there, and she gave a tip to dye black, and she said to use 2 bottles of black dye and a little bit of neon green. I'm not going to try this for this project, but I will keep it in mind for future dyeing black. I decided I wasn't going to cut it by now, at least until I come across a color that is close to the color of this project. And I will leave you with a side-by-side comparison of the 3 stages of this one, and you will say me if you think it changed, because I didn't notice too much change from the second stage to this one. A little bit of darkening only. Then my 5th project is this one, the cropped top for my sister. Now you are seeing it in its full glory here. As I said, I have applied the ribbon inside to both sides. I have sewn the edges. It's not a perfect seaming. Here you can see the finishings are not the most neat, but it's functional, and looking from the front, you don't notice. I have reinforced the seaming in the back with this row of slip stitches, kind of surface crochet, and I have reinforced the edge of the button band with a row of single crochets. The 4 buttons, she usually wears it now by pulling it, but the buttons are functional. They can be opened and closed, and it fits her perfectly now. It's precisely her size. I was afraid that it wouldn't be her size, because when I started to seam the ribbon, I ended up taking away the marks of her size, and I didn't know if I have selected the correct place. But yes, I did, and I have seamed the row here too. You can see close by that there is thread here, but from just by passing her, you won't see it. And I also have crocheted over the edge to reinforce it and to make it a little bit more similar to the other side, because it had pulled and ripped and misshaped a little bit here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My sixth finished project were the cuffs of my stripes. You can see they are now flexible. If you watched the footage before, you will see that the previous edge was cuter. It was more neat, but it's much better to wear now. I will show you footage of that, and I won't talk much about this project because it will appear in a future video, I hope, in which I will talk about all my own knitted garments, and this one is one of them, and there are a lot of things to talk about it. But my main problem with it was solved, and when the weather gets colder, I will be able to wear this lovely sweater again. My seventh finished object of the month is the skirt, which is probably the one I am most proud of because it was my first sewing project. Everything by hand. I have shown you only a little bit, but I have sewn with back stitch over the overstitch I had. Then I have cut the sides. I still have the rest. I will show you some pictures here, which maybe I will transform that embroidered headband. Why not? But not now. And then I kind of serged by hand the sides, and I came with the threads, and I have sewn more tiny stitches along the edge like that. I made it in the two sides, and I have then folded the waistband, seamed. I have left hole here, threaded the elastic through it, seamed the tips of the elastic together. Then I seamed the two corners here to keep it in place so it won't be twisting like that and twisting like that. It still can twist like that because it's not completely sewn to the inside, but I can untwist it easily. And then I have reinforced the seam of the waistband with gray threads. It's not perfect in the sense the seaming is not perfect. When I learn to use a sewing machine, which I hope will happen this year, I may come back with gray threads and perfect the finishes of this, but I can wear it. It's safe, it doesn't rip, and I have worn it already a few times. I have had this for almost 10 years, and it's the first time I'm able to wear it correctly. It fits me very nicely because I have picked elastic, which was 3/4 of the measurement of my waist, so it cinches perfectly at the waist, and it's very good to wear with tops like that, like my sweater, like that other top that I will show you in a moment. And I'm really happy with this one. And of course, I have to admit that it made my fingers itch to learn sewing, to actually go and search courses in my city, because I need to sit with someone that will show me a machine, how to use it, and direct me in the beginning. This is not like knitting and crochet that I was able to pick just from YouTube tutorials. And then I have my fails. This is a fail. My last project, you can see. I actually really like the lace. It's Brussels lace. You can see it looks like little leaves, kinda. Some going this way, some going that way. It wasn't blocked. Maybe if it opens, it won't look like leaves so much. But I didn't like how it sits in the top. I will show you a footage of me wearing it and you will see why. I believe it would be more like that, and it's kind of flat, and it doesn't add to the beauty of the top but rather detracts from it. So I decided to follow my instinct and call it even. I will not be continuing this project. I will frog this. I might make this collar as a collar for myself. I don't know if in black, maybe. Sooner or later this black will become a vintage or Victorian lacy pattern. Knitting, crochet, I still don't know, but it will become. And now it's my surprise project. Well, I have mentioned it in my knitting podcast, and I have talked that I was going to undertake this, but I forgot to film it in the beginning of this video, so that's why it's a surprise. But in my head, I was going to work it in February anyway. This is a beanie I had knitted for my brother, and I have unraveled it already before. I have cast it on with tubular cast on. I have worked the ribbon, and now I'm in the stockinette part. What was the problem with this original project? The edge was tight and it was too lengthy. My brother wanted a toque like the sample picture, which is short. The thing is, when we increase the receipt as per the instructions in the pattern, we add multiples of 6, but the rate of decreases at the crown doesn't change. So we need more decreases to close the top, which means that it gets longer and longer and longer. the more stitches we add, the longer it gets. My brother's was like that when he wanted it like that. So now that I am reknitting it, I will change the decrease rate to make it happen quicker. Either by decreasing it more quickly in an interval of less rows or decreasing even more stitches at the same row. I still don't know how, but I will do one of these options. And then I intend to dye it. Hi folks, future Erika here. I just want to show you one thing. I've done it. I finished it. I only need to weave in some ends and I'm going to make a tag for the corner with this fake leather. I finished it Saturday or Sunday after I had already edited the video, and I decided I was going to try to dye it with the cotton dye I had. I found a video in which one lady was using almost the twin dye of that one that I used. She was using it to dye wool, so I decided I was going to try too, and it ended up like that. And that's it. This month I almost did not touch my new whips. I have knitted a little bit in two of them, and I have made some of my crochet centers for the hexagon blanket. I'm very behind in that, but I will talk to you all about all these projects and new ideas and everything in the next podcast episode, I hope, which I don't know when will happen. The thing is, you will be watching this February 26th, and tomorrow I am undergoing surgery, so I don't know when I will be able to return to my activities, including filming and editing videos. I have pre-recorded material, but I wasn't able and won't be able until then to edit because I have other priorities right now. And well, if you are watching this 26 or 27, send me your prayers, send me your blessings and everything, because I'm a little bit scared of that. Well, I hope everything will turn out alright and I will be able to see you in the next one. Until then, you can go and subscribe now and activate the notifications to be notified when I come back. And if you haven't watched my other videos, feel free to do it because they are all there for you and for your enjoyment. So until we see again, happy knitting, be happy, be healthy, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.